and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, here we go. It's Wednesday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Welcome in, welcome in. And like everything is on the table, anything is on the table, because I'll be honest with you. It's coming in here today. I know this is, real pros don't start their shows this way. We're just going to drum it up. We're going to drum up the energy whether we have it or not. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know what's going on. Because it feels like we're kind of in between. Let's be real here. Doesn't it feel that way? I mean, the championship games, they begin tomorrow, not today. So we still got, a little over 24 hours because the first one kicks off tomorrow afternoon at 4. What is that? Is the 4A game tomorrow maybe? Yeah, maybe. Well, anyway, it kicks off at 4, state championship games. They begin tomorrow, but not today. So we're over 24 hours from that. Cowboys play the Lions tomorrow night. Okay. And we're also, everything on the Kiffin stuff that, we all enjoyed. Did we? We all enjoyed to talk about the last few days. It all broke loose on Sunday. Really broke loose on Sunday. Well, that's a long time ago. So it just kind of feels like we're a little bit in between. What that means is, first of all, welcome into the show. And you can be a part of it. And what that means is I hope you will be a part of it. And welcome back to everybody on the live stream. Hey to you. Glad to be back with y'all here today after being out. Well, we weren't out, but we were on yesterday just doing the show live at Top Golf there in Ridgeland, which was a lot of fun. And then I got to go to an event there last night and hit about 100 more golf balls. And yeah, I really enjoy that. So, but I didn't enjoy not having the live stream going for everybody on YouTube and Facebook and X, formerly Twitter. So we're glad to be back on the stream today. So if you're looking at me in this stream right now live, one of those, YouTube, Facebook, or X, type in a comment, post it. It pops up here in this column, this nice, neat column right here. And then when I see it, I can click it, and like magic, you can pop up on the screen and everybody else can see it. For example, now, is it Cowboy Al? It's either Cowboy Al or Cowboy AI, but I think that's an L. I think it's Cowboy Al. On X says, yes, sir, love your content, Matt. Well, I really do appreciate it. Love you too. And I love your comments. So see what I mean? Just comment, type it up, post it. It pops up. We'll put it up on the screen. You can also text the show on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. I had, not for breakfast. I'm being honest here. I had some leftover donuts for breakfast. They're pretty good. But I fried up some of that jalapeno and pineapple sausage at lunch, and that was just the kick I needed. It warmed me up as well, and if you've been outside today, you know we need that. It's nice and cool. But anyhow, Country Pleasin' sausage is the best, made right here in Mississippi at Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence. So, yeah, get on in here on the text line. The number to text is 885-3776, 601 number. 885-3776. And the phone line, let me hear your voice. So give me a call on the Junction Deli phone line, the Junction phone. Number to call, 897-1059, 897-1059. So get it on in here. Call me on the Junction phone. Junction Delis all across the state, fueled by Prince Oil Company. So it could be football, recapping what we've already seen, questions about what we've already seen, previewing what we're going to see. Got championship games this weekend. You have Jackson State in the SWAC title game. Looking forward to that. Hoping the weather's good. Of course, the MHSAA state championship games. You got that. You got NFL tomorrow night. What else? Oh, Oh, yeah, it's right. It's National Signing Day. It's one of our 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it is. How many do we have now? It's one of several national signing days. A lot of it does happen today, and I've seen a lot of things on Facebook, different schools signing players. Lots of kids from Mississippi signing college scholarships, which is a really cool thing, especially for the parents of those kids. It's a really cool thing. So you got that also. And we were laughing about this yesterday, but Beaver and I were on the phone at some point yesterday. I think I was checking on him after the show to make sure he got some of that food that we sent back from to him back to the studio from Topgolf. I'm telling you, man, you hear Topgolf, you think big entertainment venue. You don't necessarily think of great food. You wonder, what kind of food are we talking about? Are they just heating it up? Let me tell you, it was fantastic. It was great food, especially those fried macaroni bites. Beaver can attest to that. Anyway, I was talking to him on the phone, and really and truly, we wound up in a conversation about some Little Debbie snacks. And one thing led to another, and after about 5 to 10 minutes of this conversation on the phone, I got one of those, and this is hard to get. I got one of those genuine, audibly noticeable, loud chuckles out of Beaver when I said to him, Beaver, I think a lot of our listeners right now would be tickled to know that not only do we talk about Little Debbie's on the air, but even just chatting it up on our handy cell phones from C Spire, we are talking about Little Debbie's. It's a true story. So even if it's food that you want to get into, let her rip, tater chip. All right. So with that said, let me come to your texts and your comments. I did have it right, by the way. It's Cowboy Al. Everybody, round of applause. Welcome Cowboy Al on X to the show. I don't know if Al stands for Alabama or if his name is Al. That's the other thing we'll have to find out. Danny gave us a Hail State from Ringgold, Georgia. He said if Texas A&M plays Notre Dame in the first round, I believe the Aggies prevail, proving Notre Dame didn't belong in the playoffs. They've already beaten them once, right? Close game, though. It was a really close, heck of a finish. They did already beat them once. Talking about it being cold, Hail State fans said here on YouTube, 37 degrees here in Lincoln County, Tennessee. One of my favorite customers just moved here from California, and she is not liking the cold. I bet. Let me tell you now. What's the temp? Let me tell you where it is, what the temperature is where I am. Well, other than just bitter, bitter cold. 37 degrees in Tupelo, Mississippi, and it feels like about 27 as the wind blows. And earlier this morning, the homecoming queen had me out helping with some Christmas decorations. When I say help, that's all I do is help. She's the boss of those things, but I was outside a little bit for that. And man, I'm a tough dude, but aren't I tough? I think I am. I can only stand it for a little while. All right, here we go. Country Please and text line. James from Amory says, what about State starting the week in the 60s in recruiting class-wise to crack the top 25 today? All right, I'll take your word for it. And listen, that's good. Thanks for letting me know, James. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know who's ranking them, but more power to them. To me, I really look forward to spring practice. Give me a spring roster. Okay. And I don't know who's practicing and playing and doing what. And especially I look forward to the fall when we start fall practice and I know who's on the team. But, if they're ranking recruiting classes, more power to them. J-Rock texts the show. He said, hey, Matt, remember when National Signing Day was a big deal? I know. It used to be because that's how everybody got their players, right? There was no transfer portal. People transferred, but it was kind of few and far between, and it was a senior grad just here or there, maybe like 5 in the whole country, and everybody was signing big classes of high school players, and they're getting some JUCOs and all that, and it's just not quite the same, as it used to be, but that's fine. Hey, here's another thing, too. Let me give you a heads up. I'm really looking forward to this. This morning, I made good on what I said to Will, who commented on the YouTube live stream back on Monday. And I started clipping out some of the plays that Kamario Taylor made in the Egg Bowl for State. And the few that I clipped out of some plays I remember, not just, a big run. There was a couple of those, obviously, but a few other things he did in the game that I thought were really good, like handling the blitz, seeing them flip their coverage and flipping his read from one side to the other and still getting the ball out on time. He actually processed things really well, I thought, in that game for a true freshman. And so I'm really looking forward to drawing that up for you in a film study video. I clipped some of the plays out. And I may go back and get a few from other games too, but we'll see. Anyway, just wanted to tell you that. Film study, Kamario coming. Looking forward to it. Oh, here's another one. Big tip of the cap, round of applause to Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback for Ole Miss. He's your 2025 Connerly Trophy winner. The C Spire Connerly Trophy goes to Trinidad Chambliss, and, super deserving. He's super knowledgeable on football. Super deserving. I mean, it's one of the, they don't get that wrong, do they? They really don't. The folks that are involved with the C Spire Connerly Trophy every year, they don't get that wrong. I mean, I think he's very deserving. A heck of a story, too. Just out of nowhere, prior to the season, not a soul outside of a few of his teammates and his people in the quarterback's room at Ole Miss. The only people who even knew his name. It's a fantastic name, by the way. And the next thing you know, you get to the end of the year and they're saying, should he be in the Heisman conversation? I mean, in the D2 transfer and everything. It's just a heck of a story. Really good player. And so he won it last night, very deservingly so. Lots of deserving finalists, too. It's just a fantastic thing the state of Mississippi does, and C Spire for getting behind it and making it a thing every year. It's one of the cooler things that goes on here, from a recognition and award standpoint in the state of Mississippi. So congrats to him. Jake from Yazoo. Did I skip J-Rock? I think I skipped. Let me see. No, I got it. Jake from Yazoo texted. He said, off the wall here, but it is deer season. My friend was in from North Carolina, saw a 6-point Yazoo County, and said, didn't know y'all had deer that big. And we got some bigger too, don't we? Don't we, Jake? Yeah, it is. And really, I mean, I think for a deer hunter like this, it's cold as all get out, but this is kind of weather you're looking for. Man, last night driving home on that trace, or at least part of it, I went all the way up to 𝐌𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 on 55, cut across on 82 and get on the trace over there. So I was on it for, maybe 50, 60 miles. And I see a bunch of deer. And unfortunately, I've seen a bunch of dead ones on the side of the road that somebody, banged their car up in the process, I'm sure. So be careful out there. Attorney Reb texts the show, country pleasing text line. Says LSU's Frank Wilson holding up his high school recruits from signing with LSU today because Kiffin hasn't guaranteed him an on-field coaching position. Offered him an off-the-field recruiting position, and Wilson said no. Man, is that going on? And think about that for a second, attorney. Now, I guess, in one way, it's good that you've got more than one chance to sign. Yes, now in the modern era, our signing day, particularly for high school kids, is this day here, this Wednesday in December, this first Wednesday in December. But there's more coming. There's more windows and opportunities, and you still have a chance to sign in February. It's not like if you don't sign here, you're out, that kind of thing. So that's good. But it's an odd thing, isn't it? To think, okay, there's a person, and I don't care if it's a coach or an outgoing coach or a coach in limbo or a lame duck coach or an agent, quote unquote, or a handler or a family member, but some adult that is between a young person, a high school player, and the school they want to go play for in college. You see what I mean? Like there's this linchpin in the middle there, some adult that's like holding the key for some reason between an individual and the school he wants to go play for. Why do we even have that? Why do people even allow that? I don't really understand that. You know, I mean, think about it. I kind of feel sorry. I mean, not in a critical way, like I'm looking down my nose or being critical of someone. I really do kind of feel sorry for, whether it be a recruit or their family, that they find themselves in a position where they have been talked into believing that someone else is involved with deciding where they wind up and where they want to go with their life. Why? Somebody needs to look at players and families and say, you know, trust me, there is a way for you to do everything you want to do. And even now when you're getting paid, okay, because these schools are going to pay you, okay, but still there's a way to do all that. You get your money and make your choice and do what you want to do. There's a way for you to do that. You just handle it. You don't have to have somebody out here. Okay, sure, you want to have someone, maybe you call them an agent or whatever, and they are your advocate in the negotiations, maybe that has experience in you. But find someone who under no circumstance is going to try to use you as a game piece in their life. Does that make sense? So I'm just saying, I don't know the details. I'm taking your word for it, Attorney Reb. But if what you say is true, if what you say is true, and there's a coach who he's using recruits somehow as a chess piece in his own career to advance himself. Think about that. It's just, I'm probably not in a position to give every high-profile recruit and family out there advice on certain things, but I feel like I can definitely give you that advice. Trust me, you don't have to have that type of influence in order to get what you want and go where you want to go. You don't have to have it. Trust me. Hey, Delta Tide fan, thanks for sending those. I'm going to take a look. My man wrote and sang a song about Lane Kiffin. I'm going to check it out during the commercial break. Thanks for sending those. Nick is already fed up with the cold weather and says, bring back the skeeters. He is ready for hot weather, humidity, and mosquitoes. Nick, surely not. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona, text the show. And he goes, can we briefly just mention how stupid these people are when we keep saying Ole Miss should get left out of a 12-team playoff so wide open that it guarantees a spot to a group of 5, because Florida State was left out of prohibitively exclusive 4-team playoff. Yeah, it is silly. Jason, I mean, it's like, I don't care. You're taking 12 teams into a playoff, and there's a 1-loss SEC team, they're in. I don't care if there's 6 of them, which I don't know if it's possible, but regardless, they're in every time. It doesn't matter if they had a weaker SEC schedule. A weaker SEC schedule is still a tougher schedule than 9 out of 10 teams in these other conferences are playing. I agree with you. And he reports that in Flagstaff, right now, it is a toasty 30 degrees and snowing. Wow. I might like to see some snow. All right, back over on the live stream on X, formerly Twitter, Cowboy Al says, you were the reason I bought some country pleasing jalapeno pineapple sausage. He says it is fire. And for the old folks, that means good. It's like when I was in junior high, bad meant good. Like Michael Jackson, I'm bad. He meant good. Fire means just really good. Don says, Hail State from Franklin, Tennessee. It looks like signing day is going well for Levy. Yeah, according to the reports on this show, they say that somebody told them they're top 25. Franklin, Tennessee, one of the most awesome places in the entire United States of America. Franklin, Tennessee. That's a goal. See, someday when we win the lottery the homecoming queen and I, we're going to have us a nice little getaway. I don't know, maybe even retirement home in Franklin, Tennessee. But I'd have to buy a lottery ticket, and I've never bought one of those. So maybe it's going to take something other than the lottery. I don't know. Let's see. Mark says, who's your guess as to State's next football defensive coordinator? I don't really know, Mark. I don't know who that would be. Don't have much information. You know, it kind of seems to be up in the air a little bit right now. Good afternoon to you, Bulldog, Mississippi. He's in on YouTube. Let's see. Michael said, hey, Matt, Arizona Wildcat from Tucson, Arizona. Well, hey, what's up, Michael? He said, I watched your video back last year when we played against you and subscribed. Your evaluation of football teams is the best I have seen. Well, man, I appreciate that very much. I'm super knowledgeable on football teams. No, I really do appreciate it. And honestly, it's one of those things where I really do wish I had more time to really just knuckle down and focus on just that, you know, breaking down video and breaking down plays. It's probably one of those things where I need to sort of resolve to do it and make it a focus as opposed to just standing there wishing I could focus on it. But it's crazy. It is a really cool thing that I enjoy doing in the off season, Michael. And my team, we're done. We're in the off season, so maybe I can get some more of that going here. Kind of carry us over to the spring. All right, listen, just getting started. Your text, your comments, phone calls coming up. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole.
Oh, I am starving.
Don't worry, he's got a menu full on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone 105.9.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. All right, listen, your text messages are coming up. Unnamed, no, let's see, James is back in there. Grumpy, CB95, Delta Tide fan, Jason, Rez Glenn. I got a new one in there coming to y'all on the live stream. Brad, Legba, and Daniel. G Bama Boy, good to see you back. And others coming to y'all on the live stream. First, though, headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Look them up online at mortgagemanms.com. Or just if you see Went out on the street or on the soccer field or in the broadcast booth, just walk up behind him when he's not looking and go, Went! See if you can get him to jump. My man, Went McGee and the Mortgage Man Group. Again, online at mortgagemanms.com. Mortgagemanms.com. Headline number one, Ole Miss senior quarterback Trinidad Chambliss has been named the winner of the 2025 C Spire Connerly Trophy. Puts him up there as the most outstanding college football player in Mississippi this year. Of course, transferred to Ole Miss from Ferris State in Division II. It's just a heck of a story. 5 300-yard passing games. That's the second most by any SEC quarterback, at least since I think that's going back to Jaden Daniels. And so big-time year for him. And congrats to all the other finalists from the other schools. That would be Brennan Thompson, Mississippi State, Braylon Braxton, Southern Miss, Jacoby and Morgan from Jackson State, Jacorian Sewell from Alcorn. You had Josh Brown from Valley, William Carter the fourth from Delta State, Wyatt Beck from Belhaven, and Grant, Bijak from Millsaps. Those were all of your, finalists. And Chambliss takes home the trophy. Hey, kind of semi-related there. Well, definitely is related. Headline number two. Offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to coach Ole Miss in the college football playoff and then rejoin the staff at LSU. So it's funny, you read the story. He did go with Kiffin to LSU, but they're saying that Lane Kiffin is allowing him to go back and coach Ole Miss, coach their offense in the college football playoff, and then come back and join the staff. And then they list Charlie Weiss Jr. as LSU assistant. Charlie Weiss Jr. will be allowed to return to Ole Miss and serve as the team's offensive coordinator through the college football playoff. And, that sort of thing's been done before. I was thinking about it this morning when I saw that. It's really similar to, similar but different. You go back when Dan Mullen was hired at Mississippi State, he was the offensive coordinator for Florida. And they were going to play in the national championship game, right? with Tebow and them. And so he was the state head coach and was already named the state head coach, but was finishing out after he'd been named the head coach at state. He was going back and finishing out coaching the offense for Florida up through the national title game. And they won it. And so that sort of thing has been done before. And a Mississippi State note here, some changes for a former Bulldog. Darius Slay was waived by the Steelers, veteran corner. Began his career with who? Detroit. Yeah, came up with Detroit. Played for a long time, Pro Bowl corner for a long time there for Detroit. Hopped over to Philadelphia. Did I have that right? After that, the Eagles. And then was with the Steelers so far this year, but they've waived him, and he's getting on up there in years, and so it may be winding up for Darius Slay. And those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank, right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com, mortgagemanms.com. All right, more of your texts and your comments coming up. Unknown texter. Unnamed texter. As a former player, what is your opinion on Charlie Weis Jr. coming back to Ole Miss to coach the playoffs? Would you want him to come back if you're a player? You know he's going to LSU. He says, he left on the plane with Lane Kiffin. Yeah, that's an interesting deal. Because didn't they, when all that went down on Sunday and Kiffin got on the plane to go to Baton Rouge and he took some of the assistants with him, including Charlie Weis Jr., and Ole Miss immediately goes, bang, so what? We're fine. This guy's our permanent head coach. They named the defensive coordinator Pete Golding. He's not going to LSU. He's a permanent head coach. And didn't they at that same time say that Joe Judge was the offensive coordinator for the playoff run, the upcoming playoff run? I thought I saw that. Okay, maybe I dreamed it up. I don't think I did. But if they said that, that means, okay, so there's one change. One person's kind of getting jerked around a little bit right there. Judge is going to stay. Okay, and then as players, that's the thing about it. I think, who is calling the plays, I think is probably more important on offense than it is on defense. Well, important's not even really the right word. More of a routine thing. And the routine means a little more on offense, I think, than it does on defense. There's more feel to it, I think, involved on offense than it is on defense, to a degree. So I think players probably understand that. Offensive players probably understand that, and maybe you like that idea. Because after all, players, I do think we have to remember, every offensive player at every school, the biggest thing is you don't really have a bias as to who's calling the plays as long as they work. That's really, as long as the plays you're calling work and they're called and they make sense and they're putting us in the best position to have some success, that's really all I want. I don't care if it's you or you or you. Whoever's doing it, just do a good job, right? And so from that respect, it probably is a positive thing for them, that he's going to be there. And they probably have confidence in that at Ole Miss. I can just see it from a quarterback standpoint. You're like that comfort level with trusting the call that's coming into the helmet. I would think, okay, that would help. But honestly, away from the game moment, you're in practice, we're going through our drills and we're doing our calls and we're running our plays and we're working on it, game plan stuff. Okay, great. We're in the game, the calls are coming in. Okay, great. But outside of those situations, the actual throwing the football around, I think it would be weird. I really do. Now, again, it's a different era. Players are different now. They're all getting paid. It's like they know that they're paid to play football. They know that. And so it's really a professional deal. And so it is a little different. But I think from a relationship standpoint, yes, some of the players are going to transfer themselves. Some of them may even transfer to LSU. But if you're, again, the sitting around the meeting room talking, on the bus, in the facility, the, hey, how you doing, shooting the bull with each other, sort of the camaraderie thing. I think that stuff's greatly affected. It would be for me. If I was a player and I knew I was going to be sticking around and I wasn't leaving, and and you've been coaching us, you jumped on the plane and skedaddled, you go get the job. Next year I'm going to be competing against you, but now you're here. Like, we're not friends. It's not going to be like warm and fuzzy like it might have been before. Now, on the field, we're doing our job. You call the plays, I trust you, let's go. But as far as palling around, I don't think I'd be doing that. And I think it probably affects that. Could be wrong, but I think it probably does. Grumpy texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, Matt, Grumpy keeps up with Warren Central football. Is number 10 quarterback Nash Morgan a junior or senior? I think he's a junior this year. Mrs. Grumpy is a 1970s Warren Central grad. Well, how about that? She thought a lot of Coach Morgan Sr. Yeah, Coach Robert Morgan Sr., their dad. Of course, in this case, Nash's granddad. Grumpy said, as a Clinton High School grad, when Warren Central opened in 1966, we were very excited to play a new school in football. Signed, Roll Ty. He's pulling for Ty Simpson at Alabama. And he said, Hail State. CB95 texted the show. Camario will probably be in attendance to watch his high school compete for a state championship. Knoxville County. I would think. I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to doing this. I guess you call it a film study, drawing some plays up of some of the things that he did in the Egg Bowl. Maybe going back to a few from some of the other games too. Because it's very unfreshman-like. Everything he does, CB95, to me, is very unfreshman-like with Camario. The way the ball jumps out of his hand when he throws it, the arm strength. I mean, there's lightning in his arm. It really is. Obviously, the athleticism running the ball with the size is very unfreshman-like. But also, when I went back and I could see it happening in the game, but everything's going really, really fast. But when I was clipping the plays out this morning and looking, I was like, okay, I thought I was seeing this. The way he's reading the whole field, they would flip the coverage on him some, and he'd read that and come back to a secondary, reading the other side and make accurate throw. He was processing some blitz stuff really quickly. I was really impressed. I just don't think there's a ceiling. I know that's saying a lot. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, Convenience Redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world. in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that, everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got
All for you.
Just listen to that!
At The Zone 1059 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, and I have hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Shoot, yeah. Look, you need to if you're a coffee drinker, try it. Go to their website, highpointroasters.com. As far as I know, they're the oldest coffee roasters in Mississippi. And I'm talking single origin from all over the world, and blends that they've come up with. This is it was a whole bean, and I grinded it at home. They roast it from Nicaragua, is how you say it, right? Nicaragua, easy for me to say. But you can get stuff from all over the world there. And whole bean if you want it, already ground if you want that. It's big 1 pound bags of it too. And so you're not going to run out as quick. Hey, check this out. The Chiefs Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game had a record 57.23 million viewers. It is now considered the most watched regular season game ever, beating the previous record by 36%. So what would that be? Previous record would have been like 30-something million viewers for a regular season game, and this one had 57.23 million. Most watched regular season game ever. Previous record 36, beat it by 36%. That is unbelievable. I mean, I say unbelievable. I really mean that. It's hard for me to believe that. That's what I mean. It's incredible. All right, your text coming up. Let me come over to the live stream. Craig said 24/7 Sports has state's football recruiting class ranked 27th in the nation. How about that? BMAC said, is Stonka really leaving? I don't know. I think I did have someone tell me yesterday that he had put his name in the transfer portal, so he must be wanting to go somewhere. Dredism on YouTube, I think I said that right, said, is it good that we only lost 3 to the portal Or is it telling of the talent that we have to not be able to go anywhere? He said, I'm being honest, not a troll. I haven't kept up much with recruiting since NIL started. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fair question. And without knowing who the three are, I'm not really sure. I feel like there were a lot of staffs around the country, too, that were making adjustments this year because they feel like they're going to get an extra year of eligibility for everybody because of that Pavia thing, particularly their JUCO guys. So I don't really know. And the other thing that's hard for me to kind of draw an opinion on it, again, I don't know who the three are right now. And it's my understanding, though, that don't they have another window still? I know they talked about closing it down, only have a one transfer portal window, but still, at least for this cycle, don't they still have two windows? Or have they already shut the other one down? See, I'm having a hard time keeping up with all that, too. Jonathan said, sorry if you guys have hit at it today, but saw Womack indeed sign with State this morning. It's a big deal in getting this defense tightened up. Go Hawks and Hail State. Yeah, okay, and I was made aware of who that is this week. My former teammate, Porkchop Womack, who was an offensive lineman, played for 10 years in the NFL. Great guy, all-SEC player, legend type of guy. And his youngin' is a safety. So speed runs in the family. I'm really happy for them. Happy for State, too. Mr. Harmon said the three players are Jordan Mosley, Stonka Burnside, and Cam Thompson. Okay. Jordan Mosley, transferred to State. I think he's originally from Mobile. He went to Northwestern in Chicago, but then transferred out of there to State back when Mike Leach was the coach. And has been there for several years. And so he's trying to go somewhere where he can maybe play a little more regularly and that sort of thing. Hey, that's cool. Delta Tide fan texted and said, my nephew is going to be playing the MAIS All-Star game on Friday at 3 at Mississippi College. It's going to be his last high school football game. Well, that's really cool. I don't guess I realized they had one of those. Yeah, I mean, that's when somebody asked if Braylon Womack was Porkchop's son. That's what I'm being told. Man, Jason. Where are those pictures from? He had texted, I guess it's where he is, in Flagstaff, Arizona. He texted deer season. These big mule deer bucks that are murdering my bird feeders the last few nights are really tempting to me. He said, you see the video I tweeted? I don't guess I saw the video, but I'm looking at these pictures. And, buddy, I'm talking about big old, that's about a 8-point right there, and that other one's about a 8 or a 10 with a really wide spread mule deer just walking around the neighborhood. Can you shoot them, Jason, right now? Can you not just shoot them? Anyway, maybe they're like pets. They like birdseed. All right, Rez Glenn texted the show earlier and said, Matt, last year I drove down to Florence at Christmas time to Country Meat Packers, and was blown away. Bought way too much. Now I look for sales at Kroger and such to load up. He said, by the way, my Ridgeland Costco stocks Country Pleasing. And then he said, I could put them in a regular box, was just trying to save you money. What? Well, let me just tell you. Okay, your experience, Glenn, if you like to cook, you like to eat, you like good food, if you have not been to Country Meat Packers, go to Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence and just go into the butcher market. You'd be blown away now. It is really something to behold. You'll come out of there smelling good. I know that much. Let's see. Someone texted and said, Matt, didn't you say Monday that a Southern Miss student is the one that stole Chambliss's jersey? I can't find anything about it anywhere. No, it was yesterday. Yesterday, or maybe it was Monday, I said, I want to know. Because they said they had video of the person. So they could catch them if they wanted to. So I said, I want to know who it is. And somebody texted in and said that they thought it was a Southern Miss student that did it. I just read the text. I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know what his name is, or if for sure that's the truth, or if they caught him. I don't know. Jeremy texted the show. He said, Matt, for the longest time, everyone has insinuated that Kiffin calls all of the plays and it's his offense. But now all of a sudden, Charlie Weiss Jr. is a play caller. I'm confused about it too, Jeremy. I mean, just watching Kiffin during the games would lead me to believe he was calling the plays. I don't know. Real C. Merry Flipmas and happy holidays, Matt. Well, what is... So, Merry Flipmas, meaning recruits are flipping from one school to another on signing day. And then instead of holidays, he said happy holler days. What does that mean? My man, Real C. I can't even look at your current texts right now, Real C, without being distracted by this picture of the pulled ham that you had back on Thanksgiving. Man, you talk about looking good. On the Charlie Weiss thing, James from Amory says, it's just weird to me that Ole Miss wasn't okay with the new head coach of LSU coaching the playoffs, but they are okay with the new offensive coordinator of LSU. Make it all make sense. It doesn't make any sense. You can't make sense of it. I tell you what, though, I will be really interested to watch them play and see if you feel like you notice any sort of difference. I'll be really interested to watch and see. Tripp texted in. He said, okay, Matt, if we can all see this about Camario, then why did Coach Levy leave him on the bench most of the year? This is from Twip. Listen, it's a totally fair question. I was wondering about it myself at times. Tripp, thinking, is it simply what it was maybe early in the preseason when you had this senior in Blake Shapen where everything just ran smoothly? He's making the right reads. Ball goes where it's supposed to. You don't have these major hiccups in terms of, operationally. Whereas Camario was a little more hit or miss because he's a freshman out of high school and he was learning all those things, like the hit or miss rate, right? And I could totally see why they would want to kind of bring that along slowly with such a talent that's going to be such a big deal for you in the future and for him, that you would sort of handle it carefully in the early days, right? But it's like as the season went on, the more you used him, he just became a touchdown maker. Look at the Arkansas game. Look at the Missouri game. He just became a guy that sometimes it didn't even have to look great, and the ball just wound up in the end zone, and so maybe that's just, it had to get to that point to go, okay, he's ready to do it all. And I'm telling you, in that Ole Miss game, of course, they didn't win it, and they got stopped some, and there was a tip ball interception and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just telling you, there were times in that game where you go, man, he's seeing blitz, he's throwing hot, they're rotating the coverage, he flips and reads the correct side of the field and doesn't get fooled by it. And then athletically, he's running by people. I don't know. Who's to say he was ready earlier? I don't know, but I'm excited about him. Back after this.
This Christmas, C-Spire will help bring the ultimate holiday bundle down.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille. It's andouille. And last but not least, oh, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢 to learn more.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Psst, honey. Honey! What? Shh, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? Put the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some.
At the Zone 1059.com.
Hour number 2, off and running with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team. I'm here. Beaver's here. You're here. Got the whole gang. Get on in here. You can be a part of the show in lots of different ways. Comment on the live stream. Hey to you. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, just type in a comment right there. Post it. I'll see it in this column right here on this one monitor. And then when I click it, it pops up on the screen and everyone can see it. Like, here's Keith on Facebook who says, hello from Hernando Joe. No, I'm sorry. This is Keith. He said, hello from Hernando. Joe Judge is listed as some type of analyst on the Rebel staff. I looked it up. They have 10 to 12 analysts. So do you know how many State has? I always thought it was some type of limit for the coaches to be on the staff. Well, they removed a lot of those limits here recently. I know, Keith, there were, at one point there was a limit to 9 on-field coaches, and this is sometime within the last 5 to 7 years or so. They removed that so you could have a 10th on-field coaching position, I believe, in football. And then there also used to be some restrictions on what staff members other than those 10 on-field coaches could do, particularly in practice. And then everybody's just found workarounds to that. As far as how many State has as like analysts, I don't really know what the total number is. They had a bunch of them though. And 2 that at least early in the year, I felt like you were looking at some things that probably made a difference, that it was a big difference early in the year. And that's 2 former head coaches that were analysts on the defensive side of the ball, and Paul Rhodes and Mike McIntyre. And, Coach Rhodes might have been on the sideline during the games. I'm not sure. I know that Coach McIntyre was in the booth during the games, but kind of analyst, but not on field. Anyway, I've been sort of lamenting the lack of defense in the latter half of the year, particularly the last month or so, when you just ran up on good teams who could really run the ball. And then your lack of personnel, I guess, defensively really started to show up. Another thing, this will be a good off-season project for me. I might be able to bring it to y'all here. I'll bore you to death with it one day here on the radio. But I was thinking about it today. I was watching those clips that I pulled out of Camario Taylor from the Egg Bowl to, draw up some of the things I thought he did well in that game that illustrated to me, and will probably help you to see too, that he's just, especially by the time he got to the end of the year, not a typical freshman. Certainly not in terms of the combination of size and ability. He's just not a typical freshman, but he did some things that are not typical of freshmen too in the game. But in noticing that, I'm watching, for example, Ole Miss, what they did defensively. And man, there was a ton of movement on their defensive front in the game. Like very rarely. It seemed like it anyway. I need to go back and watch for sure, but it's just like I didn't notice very many times where, let's say Ole Miss lined up in a 3-man front, they just fired off, and they're in their lane, and here they go. Or 4-man front, and it's like straight ahead, bull rush, outside rush, inside, take on just straight ahead. No, it's always 2 twists, where you got 4 linemen and 2 sets are twisting on one side or the other. A bunch of 2-gap twist stuff where, you'd even see like Eccles would line up with his hand down and they're slanting one way and he's twisting 2 gaps over to come around the edge. And it's like they're constantly running stunts on their front. And I just thought, okay, I need to go back and look because I just don't think I saw State's defensive front using that much movement really in any of the games. Sure, they ran some stunts here or there, but they just didn't run as much as what seemed like others do. And I don't know. They're smart coaches. But when things don't work, it leads you to question it, right? And you go, it seems to me that if you don't have the heft to just dig in and fire off and push linemen back into quarterbacks' laps all day in the SEC and throw offensive linemen and combos out of the way to go tackle the run game, then maybe a lot of movement would help. You know what I mean? So that's going to be something we can go back and look at in the offseason. In other words, now, because for State, it is the offseason. Coming to your text in a minute from Patches and Joe and State Grad and Thibodeau and Land Rebel and Blair from Brandon. Your texts on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all throughout the Southeast. If you want to text the show, it's 885-3776, 601 number, 885-3776. Over to the phone line right now, though. That's the horn. The Junction phone, Junction Delis across the state of Mississippi. On line one of the Junction phone, it's Wayne. How you doing, Wayne?
Man, I'm out delivering syrup.
Delivering syrup. I've been eating some of that syrup you gave me. I really appreciate it.
Well, that running back of Ole Miss, I saw something on TikTok or somewhere. I can't remember his name. Said he's going to go over to Tigerville with a kicker.
Yeah, going to go there. Well, I mean, I guess he's going to, even if he does, he's going to finish out the playoffs here for Ole Miss. It's not like he's going right now.
I can't remember his name. I guess I'm getting all.
Lacey. Lacey is the last name.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came from Missouri, didn't he?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's where he's.
I don't know where. I can't keep up with it.
That's a bad young thing.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Hey, Wayne, don't hang up. Don't hang up. I got a question for you about that cane syrup. Where does it come from? Where do you get all that?
I get it up there out in the Neshoba County. They're right about in the Neshoba County Fairground.
Okay. So they sell it right there?
Yes, he makes it and just he sells it.
Okay.
Doug Johnson.
Okay. Great.
Any way I could get that Jackson State band on there?
Oh, the Sonic Boom? You mean you want me to play you out and say goodbye and let your out cue be a little Sonic Boom?
Yes, they come to tell you one time they about blew the windows out of this.
But they did. All right, thanks for the call, Wayne, and thanks for the call. And here's some Sonic Boom just for you. Thank you, sir. We'll enjoy it. Just for Wayne. Here we go. The JSU Sonic Boom in your living room. Roll the window down. Turn it up to 11. Ride around and turn a few heads. What time's the game for Jackson State Saturday? Here it is, 1 o'clock on the Deuce. If you want to watch it, between 9 and 3 Prairie View and 9 and 2 Jackson State. And I'm telling you now, the freshman quarterback at Jackson State is Lockhart. He's really good. And they got great running backs, physical. That's going to be a heck of a game. Patches was talking about the viewership for the Cowboys game, how it's calculated. I don't know. I'll see if I can find out. Streaming, antenna, and satellite, I guess it all is considered, though, isn't it? There you go, Wayne. Thanks for the call. A little sonic boom for you. Yeah, 57 million viewers plus for Cowboys Chiefs, the most watched regular season game ever, and they beat the old one by 36%. That's incredible. Joe texted the show. He said, Matt, Camario's show going to look good in purple and gold. Well, you never know. That's the thing, Joe. I mean, you just don't know. He might. Who in their right mind would sit here right now about any player anywhere at any school and go, he ain't transferring. He would never do that. I mean, who knows? You just don't know. This is what I'm telling you. I got to be careful because it's really going to sound like I'm blowing this out of proportion or even trying to, and I'm not. I'm just telling you. My eyes tell me that I hadn't seen too many like that kid now. I mean, anywhere. That's what my eyes tell me. All right. Back over to the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling central Mississippi since 1960. And now, over to line one of the Junction phone, it's Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. What's up, Jason?
Nothing much. You hear me all right?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Levy should have started Taylor thing way earlier a lot. And it's one of the reasons I'm glad I listened to y'all while I watch. He was not ready in the middle of the season. And you pretty much said that.
Yeah.
You remember when they first started letting him have, whole drives instead of just using them at, certain situations, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he was missing wide open 10-yard throws, and you were specifically saying it was freshman mistakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was not ready.
Yeah,
and he was going to get killed behind that O-line.
Okay, and that's part of it too, Jason. People raised an eyebrow when at one point later in the year, I think Levy was asked about, how come Camario wasn't playing more, and he said something about wasted plays.
Yeah.
And people kind of raised an eyebrow, but that's really when you get into the X's and O's and you start charting practice stuff and drives and scrimmage stuff and practice and game stuff, you kind of get really, you can drown in the minutia sometimes as a coach or even as an analyst. And I look at it too, and you go, okay, well, you got, a senior over here who is at about a 95% rate of ball going where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
And so you can coach to that versus, someone who's not at that efficiency level. And that's what he meant by wasted plays is like the ball slips out of a hand or you miss a screen throw or something like that, right? The thing is, as you played him, especially later in the year, like at Arkansas, at Missouri, I think then you could see, okay, when the lights are on, we're starting to get to a point with him already where even as a freshman, the things he will do to keep you out of negative plays are now more valuable because your offensive line is bad, right? So then and that's why even on the broadcast, but, with this show and others, Jason, I was saying to you and to others, okay, the offensive line is to a point where you got to weigh, if we're putting Blake Shapen in the pocket 28 times or 30 times, he's going to take 5 sacks, a minimum.
Yeah.
And so now that's 5 times that you're, 2nd and 14 or, 3rd and 12 and things like that, or fumbling the ball. And maybe the thing that helps your football team to avoid that is that you have this kid who's in there because now they have to defend his ability to run the ball.
Yeah.
Well, and what we saw in the Egg Bowl, Jason, is you do miss a few throws.
Yeah.
It's not because of arm talent. He's got unbelievable arm talent. But you remember
it's an experience thing.
It's an experience thing. You nailed it. Okay, do you remember the deep ball in the end zone in the Egg Bowl to Brennan Thompson that got batted away?
Yeah.
When you go back, and I'll put it on the film study, you watch that play, it's a yard difference of throwing it perfectly and he catches it and walks in versus an underthrow getting batted away. He underthrew it a little bit, not because of arm strength, because he patted the ball one more time and waited just a half second a little longer than he needed to let it go. Brennan Thompson had absolutely smoked the DB and ran by him, and the reason he batted it away is because Brennan had to wait on the football at the end of it, and the guy catches up to him. So there's an experience thing. You got to throw it earlier. There's little things like that.
Yeah. The last few games, y'all were not mentioning freshman mistakes nearly as much or as often as you were earlier. So
right.
I don't know. Yeah. Are they going to have to get him some better linemen?
Oh, sure.
Sure. It's going to be terrible to see him flash and get killed and then the State win 3 games again.
Well, again,
with that kid back there.
They've got to do everything better on the offensive line. They got to coach better on the offensive line too, Jason. Go back again. If you were to go back and watch, the game, the Egg Bowl game, and just you'll notice a ton of stunts on Ole Miss's defensive front. Double twist, 2-gap twist, where they're moving and crossing gaps all over the place. And in that game, State's offensive line, we're talking about the last game of the year, is having a hard time just kind of simply passing off a twist. Like where one goes across your face, you let him go, and you pick up the twister who's coming around, stuff like that. That's really elementary stuff by the end of the year, and State's offensive line is still struggling with that stuff.
Yeah.
So
it is awful. If they can protect him at all and get him any kind of help, he's going to be special, and State will be surprising people, I think. But I'm just scared to death to hold my breath about them getting good enough and enough of them.
Yeah.
Where, like this year, where an injury or two just ruins the whole thing on both sides of the ball.
Sure. Well,
but,
one
anyway,
thing that
I'll
helps.
Get off here and listen.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate the phone call. One thing about Camario, and I'm going to put a play or two in this video I'm working on about him, and it's really just from that one game. But there's a couple of examples there that I'll show you where, because not just the threat of the quarterback may keep it, no, it's the threat of if he keeps it and we're a little bit out of position, it's house call. Like he's not just going to pull it and make a few yards. This is if he gets the read and pulls it and we're a little bit out of position, it's goalpost. That's a whole different kind of pressure on a defense. And and you think about it too, okay, it was the last game of the year that Camario Taylor started to play the whole game. This was the last game. Well, there is no next week opponent who's game planning for you and putting their package together to defend him. So we don't get to see that until next year, assuming he's at State next year. And I'm telling you, there's moments in the game where I watch it, go back and, kind of look at everything that happens during the course of the play and how they got him on some of the reads and some of the runs for him. And you can see that, okay, if there was an opponent next week, it's going to really change how the game looks to these backside offensive linemen on some of these reads and run plays, and even to the running backs. It's going to change how some of those things look, because defenses are going to, frankly, balance out to defend against the quarterback keeping the ball. See, there's a lot of offenses where you don't want, if you get a situation where you're telling your edge guys, and sometimes it's the reads go to the next level, but you're trying to coach it in such a way as to keep it out of the running back's hands. Their best ball carrier is a running back, right? We would prefer the quarterback keep it. We'll chase him and tackle him. We don't want to chase that running back and tackle him. He's better. Well, what I'm telling you is a player like Taylor changes it. Because a lot of defenses go, no, we'd rather him give it and let's chase those other guys. So they'll balance it out, and in certain, formations, there will be an extra defender where the keep side would be. Like if Mario there and they're thinking read, or they're defending against him reading it and keeping it like the edge guy, there's one extra on into the boundary because the back's to that side. Because if he gives to the back, it's going back to the left. If he keeps, he's going to the right. They don't want him keeping. So it'll be not overloaded, but it'll be balanced out to the right to give him the give read. Well, now you give it, that's one less defender that's over here where the back's going. It's one less defender that's lined up over your offensive line on that side. It changes how they have to defend you. It also kind of gives me a little bit of a clue as to why you got later in the year, like if you were to go back and watch a Missouri game, and why all of a sudden, with only a few games left, Shapen, when he was out there, was pulling the ball and running more. And it's probably a combination of, one, you can't worry about the injury deal. You're on the back half of the year anyway. But two, defenses they're aligning in such a way as to dare you to keep the ball if you're the quarterback. We don't want you giving it. You see what I mean? So if you're going to give it to us, we're going to take it more. And so he starts taking it more and running more. Some of it was, called stuff, and some was adjustment. But anyway, I just think a guy like that, there's some things he brings to the table that, frankly, is just much harder for a defense to defend play after play. And his athletic ability keeps you out of the big negative play more often, which with a bad offensive line became something State really had to have. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to 𝐶spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on 𝐶spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's 𝐶spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true.
And get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at the Zone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Rolling along on this Wednesday. Really appreciate y'all being here, being a part of this show, helping us out with info, questions, and conversation. Thibodeau texted the show. He said, I'm guessing Pork Chop must have married a Lady Bulldog track star. Maybe so. Maybe that's how he got some speed in the family. But the thing about it is, like Pork Chop, you know, you play for 10 years in the NFL on the offensive line. You can run too. You know, you're an athlete. Speed running in the family. All right. Land Rebel sent me a screenshot of a text here. What am I looking at? Let me see here. Let me click on that. All right. So this is from November 25th. Okay. So it was, there's a lot in here. This is from X, formerly Twitter. So initially, Ole Miss football posted that Coach Charlie Weiss Jr. had been named a Broyles Award nominee. It quoted the offense deal, 493.8 yards per game, third in college football, first in the SEC. And so it said Ole Miss football posted that he was up for that award. Chris Lowe, who covers college football for On3. He used to be with the acronym, but now he's with On3. He says, he quoted that. He said, it's Kiffin's offense, but Weiss is the primary play caller. Rebels are the only team to rank in the top 15 nationally in total offense among Power 4 teams each of the last 3 years, and one of 3 teams, along with Notre Dame and Oregon, to rank in the top 20 in scoring. So Kiffin's offense, but Weiss the primary play caller. So let's see. Blair from Brandon texts the show. He said Charlie Weiss Jr. Well, let me back up. I think this one was first. He said 110% a plant by Lane to try and make some headlines one last time in Oxford, probably one of Knox's friends or their brother. Talking about who stole the jersey. Okay. And then he said, Weiss Jr. didn't try to burn the town down on the way out and more than likely felt like he had to follow. He said, I've heard that he may be coming back full-time. He apparently didn't sign the contract at LSU. Well, that'd be big, right? If you could get him back permanently. So maybe that's part of the deal there. Hey, yeah, and, this is a really good point. In regards to Pork Chop having a son who plays defensive back, so there's speed in the family tree, and Pork Chop being an offensive lineman, JS290 said, isn't DK Metcalf's dad a former lineman for Ole Miss? And that's right. Yeah, Terrence Metcalf, he was an offensive lineman. Maybe that's the way that works. Maybe that speed skips a generation. Maybe that's what it is. Regarding Camario at State, Jason in Flagstaff kind of laying it out there. He says if he's not at State next year, They need to fire everyone involved with the NIL, quote-unquote, program. So they have to keep him and get line of scrimmage players, or it might as well not even field a team next year. And that's according to Jason in Flagstaff. Tyler comments, he says, the Egg Bowl will cost MSU on Camario. He did show a lot of potential. He will see tons of offers by the time the portal opens up. I would think so. I mean, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. There were coaches and people and GMs, I'm sure, who already, were aware because they didn't have to wait till Egg Bowl to see. You saw some of the other stuff in some of the other games. Because it's not just run. I mean, look at that throw he made to Evans down there against Arkansas. It's like there's some lightning in his arm too. It's the whole package. And you're playing a Friday Egg Bowl game. There's a whole bunch of people around the country that, would see it with their own eyes and go, look, find out. Find out if he's looking because we got money. I guarantee you. That's just the reality. What's that all about? Blair from Brandon sent me a picture of Houston Nutt in the Ole Miss. He's coaching at Ole Miss, and it said, "Cruton season, baby." What's that all about? Cruton season. I mean, it is. Yeah, that's something that we've gotten used to. JS290 said here on YouTube, he says, Camario Taylor and Kelly Jones both wearing number 1 confused my elderly mother. The double numbers. Yeah. So Jones is going to be a first rounder, they say. They say Jones is going to be a first rounder. He's definitely a first round talent. 6'4", long, man. He's so long and tall, and he was the second fastest player on our whole football team. And then in terms of just technique and everything else, like he made it look easy all year long to the point that you get to the end of the year and nobody will even throw the ball his way. Like he just totally eliminates one sideline of the field, whoever he's lined up on. They don't even consider it anymore. Talking about wasting plays, or like if you throw it over there, it's a wasted play. And so they just avoided him. Ole Miss really picked on the other side in the game, but I don't know that they threw the ball Kelly Jones' side maybe once the whole ball game. And you could tell it's really intentional, smart on their part. It's like, how much film do you need to see of him, breaking up passes when he's in one-on-one stuff to decide, well, what's the point? And he's just that good. And they're saying he's a first rounder. Is he eligible? So he's, you're in that realm, first round type air, and you're eligible, you go. No doubt about it. Tyler texted in. He said MSU's defensive woes were very much influenced by lack of depth. When they played against a power run offense, they'd hang on until they got completely gassed. Then the game became a bloodbath. No depth defense, quick hit offense is a bad combo versus sustained long drives. Okay, so let's see here. I think I've got time to do this without it being completely boring for you on the radio on that subject, Tyler. There is a stats database that we can get access to by virtue of like being on a broadcast crew. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up here. We'll do a couple of 3 different games. All right. Where we will look at a comparison of the quarters and the rush totals for opposing offenses per quarter. So, and as soon as I say it, watch the link not work. Okay, I think it's going to work. Which one do we want? Is that the one we want? Hang on. I'm getting there. This is award-winning radio here where we do this. It's not working. The link's not working. I'm telling you, it's not working. So therefore, the comparison is not going to work. Dadgummit! Here we go. I promise you, if I can find it, you'll be glad I did. Oh, but I can't find it. Now, why would they eliminate this as soon as the season's over? All right, let's try this. All right, here's Ole Miss. Click. All right, we're in. So this would be just some of the last few games. So we'll start off with the Egg Bowl here. I got like 1 minute to do this, so we might have to extend it into the next segment. Quarters and halves. All right, Ole Miss in the first quarter averaged 5.7 per rush and had 74 rush yards in the first quarter. In the second quarter, they only had 24 rushing yards and 3 yards a carry, state adjusted. In the third quarter, now you're talking about getting gassed. In the third quarter, only, Ole Miss had 42 rush yards. And then in the fourth quarter, they had 46. So see, it's hard to, you'd have to also consider, pass rush and the numbers of times they ran. But Ole Miss was pretty consistent. They ran the ball 11 times in the fourth quarter, 4.2 per carry. They ran it 10 times in the third quarter, 4.2 per carry. They ran it 7 times in the second quarter, 3.4 a carry. 13 times in the first quarter, 5.7. So those are a lot of numbers, but there's one game example where I would go, well, Ole Miss actually ran it more for over a yard more per carry in the first quarter than they did in the third and fourth quarters. And you go, well, that doesn't... I know I did too, Tyler. I saw it with my own eyes where it seemed like, teams would just... State's run defense just couldn't get it done against Georgia and Ole Miss and Missouri. But here's one game where it wasn't an end-of-the-game thing. They actually had – Ole Miss ran it much more successfully in the first quarter, at the beginning of the game, consistently, than they did the rest of the ball game. It's weird. And you could say, well, some of that is fourth quarter games are getting out of hand already, so it changes how you play the called plays. It's sure. That's true. But in that particular game, and I'll look at some of the others when we come back and see if that holds up just statistically. We'll see what we think. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia.
9.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. Tyler, let me continue this. Tyler said that State's defensive woes are very much influenced by lack of depth. They played against a power run offense. They'd hang on until they got completely gassed. You know, here's one number when you go back and you look at, let's say let's start with the last month of the season, Tyler. Like I did, I was kind of running through the quarter by quarter rushing yards for Ole Miss. Like, here's what they did in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. And there wasn't one in that game where it just jumped out at you. And Blair has said, now do the Missouri game, and I'm going to get to it. But here's what I did during the break. I went and looked quarter by quarter by quarter rushing for opponents. And I know rushing is just part of it, but the rushing totals for opponents. And this is what jumped out at me, is the third quarter. Just about everybody in the back half of the year, including Arkansas, their rushing totals just went and blew up and ballooned in the third quarter of all these games. So here's Missouri, the Mississippi State-Missouri game. For example, Missouri had 69 rush yards in the first quarter. There was only a few rushes, though. They averaged 13, but 69 total. They then had another 65 rushing yards in the second quarter. And then in the third quarter, 119 rushing yards in the third quarter. So the Missouri game, and for comparison, the fourth quarter, they also had 73. But the only quarter of action in the game where they had over 100 yards rushing in that particular quarter, it was the third quarter of the Missouri game. All right, what about Georgia? Georgia had 46 rush yards in the first quarter. They had 63 in the second quarter. They then had 102 rushing yards in the third quarter. And yeah, they racked up a bunch more yards in the fourth quarter, but the only quarter, just like the Missouri game, the only quarter in the game where they had over 100 yards rushing in that quarter was the third quarter, out of the halftime locker room. What about the Arkansas game for State? In the first quarter, the Hogs rushed for 60. In the second quarter, the Hogs rushed for 28. In the third quarter alone, Arkansas rushed for 141 yards. So now we're looking at 3 games in a row. Arkansas, bad team. Georgia, great team. Missouri, really good team. And all 3, regardless of who they are, similar in one fact. The only quarter of the ball game where all 3 opponents rushed for over 100 yards in the quarter was the third quarter. Out of the halftime locker room, third quarter, run the ball, can't be stopped, blow the doors off, third quarter. And then I thought, okay, let's see, and what was it again for Ole Miss? Ole Miss had 74 rush in the first quarter, 24 in the second, 42 rush yards in the third, and another 46 in the fourth. So that didn't hold up for that particular game. What about early in the year? And, I know I'm cherry picking here, but, State won this particular game. Arizona State. So now we're on the other end of the season, early. Arizona State in Starkville. 34 rush yards in the first quarter. 31 rush yards in the second quarter. 87 rushing yards in the third, and another 99 rush yards in the fourth. So, even early in the year, there's an example, we saw it, of a team that went away from everything else and just started lining up, poking it right down State's throat. We went for 87 in the third quarter and rushed for even more in the fourth, 99. So theirs was the fourth. So, again, 3 opponents at the end of the year, 3 different types of teams. One of them's really bad that you even won the game, Arkansas. And then one team you beat who was a good team at the beginning of the year, pretty good team. And they all had the similarities. Their rushing totals went in the second half. And the ones at the end of the year, it was the third quarter out of the locker room where they just blew the doors off running the football. Like doubling up their rush total from the previous whole first half, doing it in the third quarter. So, Tyler, I think, yes, part of that probably is depth. But then you go, it's out of the halftime locker room. It's not like it was close games, and they ran off with it in the fourth quarter. This is third quarter stuff mostly. So, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I find that kind of stuff interesting. Pretty interesting to see all that for me. Jason in Flagstaff texted in. He said, you could set your watch by it the last month of the season. Offense 3 and out. Defense immediately crushed. Yeah. Okay, over to the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. On line 1, it's Adam. Adam, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Hey, man, thanks for calling. What's up?
Real quick, I want to ask you a question, then I want to say something.
Okay.
I know there was one year State won 5 games, but we went to a bowl game. That can't happen this year, can it?
I don't think so. I haven't looked at it myself, but I had somebody tell me that there were too many other 5-win teams that would be ahead of them if it were to get down to that. But I'm just quoting what somebody else said. I don't really know.
And I got another thing. Man, I kind of haven't called you in a long time, but I just want to say I've heard Ole Miss people get mad about Kiffin. He offered to coach that team, so I don't want to hear that. And the guy left for a team that has won national championships more than Ole Miss will ever see in their lifetime, more than State will ever see in their lifetime. It's a guy that took a better job. You cannot blame him. And when he offered to stay and help go win a national championship, which is not going to happen, y'all told him to hit the bricks, so I don't want to hear nothing about it. And if y'all don't think the employers aren't going to run to LSU after this playoff is over, y'all have lost your damn minds. Well, good talk to you, Matt. Happy New Year.
He got the Happy New Year in there. I didn't think we were on to that yet. I'm gonna have to let Beaver weigh in on that. I think it's too early for Happy New Year. But okay. Adam, I think kind of like we talked about at the beginning of the week, it's not the leaving. that is really the issue. It's kind of the way it sort of all went down, and I don't know, kind of deception and not really wanting to tell the truth. That's what it sounded like to me. There wasn't a whole lot of truth telling going on in the back end of it. But whatever. What's done is done. I've kind of to the point now where it feels like it was so long ago. I'm kind of like, whatever. I'm sure I wouldn't be that way if it were my school. You know, in this case, it didn't happen to State. It happened to somebody else. So I'm kind of like, whatever. Sunday was a long time ago. Blair from Brandon is insinuating that State's defensive coordinator is on the naughty list, and so Santa Claus is not going to pay him a visit this year. Likewise, Lewis says on YouTube, those numbers tell me that our defensive coordinator did a bad job, and time of possession seems to not favor us. Our offense either scores fast or 3 and out. Has to hurt the defense to not catch their breath, I would think. And I think you're probably right. We talked about that too. You know, in some cases, time of possession can, the actual time of possession, we're talking about minutes and seconds, can be a little bit misleading. But yes, I mean, in reality, you watch the games and overall, there were way too many quick possessions for State, particularly of the negative kind, and so it was a little bit too inconsistent and too feast or famine offensively, which contributed to, probably getting worn out in some of those games when you were at a disadvantage to begin with, you play a team like Georgia, a team like Ole Miss, you're going to have to, you pretty much know going in, you're going to have to score every time you touch the ball if you want to hang in there with them, even if you have a good day defensively. And I think, yes, the nature of the offense, that's probably a little bit of a thing of until you kind of get the whole football team built and the personnel you need at every position, there's going to be some games where it looks bad because you get out of sync, offense isn't playing well, and defense gets thrown right back out there quickly because you're a fast-paced offense. Blair from Brandon said Ole Miss went through the same thing when Levy was there. Defense was gassed all the time because you couldn't score, because you could score so quick, and you would. Pretty interesting. Maybe there's some happy middle ground in there somewhere. All right, look at here. Man, 2 hours went by quick. Appreciate all of the texts and the comments and the phone calls. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same place here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. See y'all then.